Aloha! You made it to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's class is going to focus again on spinal flexion, extension, axial extension, and decompression. I'm going to really turn inwards, so feeling from the inside out. What is it that our body is telling us and what we need? So oftentimes we spend less attention on the sensations of our bodies and how our movements, how our patterns of movement affect our daily health and our life. So it's becoming more aware of how we can transform ourselves from the inside out. So grab your water, get into something comfy, and I'll see you on your mat. Aloha. So make sure that you have blocks with you and anything that might help support you during your practice. So I love to practice becoming more in tune with my needs, with how my body's feeling each and every day, because that also fluctuates and that changes. So honoring yourself where you are at now is really, really important. So we'll find ourselves first on our shins, sitting our hips back into our heels. And again, if this way of sitting for you is not comfortable, you can sit in a normal Sukhasana or comfortable seat on your sit bones. So taking a moment here to just rest your hands on your thighs. Noticing the breath dropping down into the body. Taking the time to deepen your breath, taking slower inhales and exhales. And we all know that our minds might be racing, might have a lot of things going on, but it's okay to just notice that and at the same time hold space for yourself to land on your mat and honor this time now for yourself. Take a deep inhale here. Hold at the top. And when you're ready, exhale out the mouth. We'll do this again, lengthening the exhalation. Take a deep inhale. Holding at the top. Open your mouth and a long exhale. One more time. Grounding down. And then here we'll inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Feeling a lengthening in the spine here. Lift and lengthen. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms up. Exhale, slowly rounding your back as you press the top of the hands forward. Maybe tucking the chin in slightly, navel into spine. Inhale, raising arms overhead. Lengthen. Exhale, round your spine forward. Inhale, arms overhead, maybe looking up. Exhale, round. Inhale, arms overhead. Maybe sending the arms slightly past the ears. Exhale, flip the palms, rounding your back, sending your hands forward. Reaching out of the arms. Inhale, flip the palms, reach arms overhead. Exhale, release the hands down by your sides. Taking a moment, maybe closing the eyes. Sending the breath down the spine. And then we'll walk our hands forward and come onto all fours. So into tabletop. And then here, making sure your wrists are underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. We're just going to start swaying our hips side to side as we send the chest on the same side. So if you send your hips to the left, send your chest to the left. Moving really slowly here. Bringing awareness to the slow movement, the sensations in our spine, our muscles, our obliques. Trying to keep the neck relaxed. And then hold it here on one side. Hold it here, creating a crescent shape with your spine. Take a really deep breath in and then out. Inhale back to center and come on to the other side and hold it here. Take a deep breath into your crescent. Exhale. And then walk yourself slightly back to the back of the mat. Knees staying above the hips, underneath the hips, I mean. Walk your arms forward. Start pressing the hips back as you press the fingers into the mat, lengthening the spine. So here, creating a kind of decompression of the spine as you lengthen, sending your hips up and back, and then pressing your arms and your fingers into the mat. And here you can have the palms pressing into the mat or tent the fingers, whatever is most desirable for you. Draw the hips back, so slight tailbone down towards the heels as you draw the navel in, and take a deep breath in here. Fill the back with your breath. Exhale. Again. Exhale. Maybe send the hips back a little more. Maybe here the forehead will land on the mat into a puppy pose. Feeling a deeper length here. Keep sending the hips back as you press the hands into the mat, lengthening the spine. Deep breaths, emptying it all the way out as you exhale. On your next inhale, slowly walking yourself back up into a tabletop. Looking down at your mat, hands underneath shoulders. Take the left hand, place it behind the head. And so your left elbow is bent. Take an inhale, open yourself to the left side, sending the elbow to the sky. Exhale, reach the elbow forward and tap it down onto the mat. Inhale, reach it forward again and all the way up to the sky as you open to the left. Exhale, reach it forward and tap it in front of the right hand. Keep moving really slowly like this, noticing the strength in the core, the knees, the right palm stamped into the mat. The more you reach your elbow forward and up, the more you'll feel this twist as you lengthen forward and down. One last time before we hold the pose down, keeping the elbow down on the mat, and hold it here. Press your hips back as you press your elbow into the mat. Keep your hand behind the head. Breathe into the spine. Inhale, release, open, twist. Exhale, lower that left hand down. Sit your hips back into the heels. Child's pose. Your knees can be together or wider apart. Your arms can release along the sides, palms facing up. If you need to relax the shoulders, you can even round the shoulders, circling the shoulders back and down. And take a moment here in complete stillness, scanning the inside of your body as you take a deep breath in. And then release the jaw, release the fingers as you exhale. Deeper sensations are being noticed, every breath bringing awareness. On your next inhale, bring your arms forward if they are not already there. Pull yourself back up into a tabletop. And we'll do the other side. Take your right hand behind the head. Making sure that left hand is really firmly rooted down into the mat, fingers wide opened. Inhale, open to the right as you send your elbow to the sky. Exhale, send your elbow forward and down, tapping the mat. Inhale, open. You can move more slowly to feel every part of this movement if you desire. You can hold it at the bottom and at the top if you'd like. Listening to your body's needs. Do this a couple more times before we hold it at the bottom. Maybe opening a little bit more. And then exhale, draw the elbow forward and then down and leaving it there. Holding your head. Breathing into the spine. Use your inhale to expand all the muscles along the spine. And exhale. Inhale, open twist. Exhale, lower the hand down. And then turn yourself onto your sit bones. Okay. Bring your feet in front of you. Okay. And slowly lower down, really slowly, rounding yourself down onto your back. Yeah. Taking a moment, either feet planted on the mat or extending the legs out, and taking a moment here to feel your body completely grounded down onto the earth. Maybe closing the eyes if that feels good to you here. Okay. Plant the soles of the feet onto the mat. Take your left arm overhead. Turn yourself onto your side. Okay. The knees
The knees are stacked on top of each other. And the legs are at a 90-degree angle. And then take your left arm and send it directly away from you. So not overhead anymore, away from you. You can lower your head on a block or directly on the mat. And then stack the upper arm on top of the bottom arm. Hands together. Sort of like your wings are together. Okay. On your next inhale, slowly shift yourself back as you slide your top hand up the bottom arm. And then exhale, slide the hand back to meet the other hand. As you do this, notice what is happening in your spine, in your hips, in your obliques. And move slowly with your breath. And your top knee will slide away from the bottom knee as well as you gently open your chest to the sky and then slowly draw yourself back onto your side. The next time you slide your hand up your arm, go all the way, sliding your arm across the chest, opening it out into a T, into a supine twist. Take a deep breath deep down into the lower back, the side intercostal muscles. Exhale, release all the weight down into the mat. The right arm can go overhead or into a diagonal to lengthen the spine even more. The head can look to the right to continue the twist into the cervical spine. Come back to your body. And then we'll come out of this the same way we got into it. So slide your hand onto your chest, across the chest, and down the arm, meeting the hand together. And then release the arm. Take the left arm overhead, press yourself up, or roll yourself onto the other side. I'm going to press myself up and switch sides so that I can face you in case you want to see me here. And again, find the same position. And to the other side. I'll take my right arm directly away from me. Lower my head down on the mat or a block. And I'll stack my left hand on top of my right. Inhale, slide the hand up the arm, starting to rotate your body upwards to the sky. And then come back to your side as you slide the hand down to meet the other hand. Keep moving like this with your breath and your own. Notice the spine here as you reach the top. Exhale, slowly slide. Giving yourself maybe a little internal smile. Some of us, it might be really difficult to move more slowly in this fast-paced world, but it brings deeper awareness to just how much is happening with all of our body movements in every second. When you're ready, your next slide, go all the way. Slide your hand across the chest, opening your arm out into a T, into your twist. Again, you can take the left arm out into a diagonal overhead, gazing to the left. That is optional here. Deep breath, expanding the ribs. Exhale, melt deep into the mat. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Take one deep breath. Open your mouth and sigh out. And we'll come back the way we came in. Sliding your arm across and down to meet the other hand. Taking your left hand onto the mat, sliding your right arm underneath your head, and taking a moment here to breathe. And then just flip yourself onto your back. Do a few bridges here. So bring your heels closer in, at least hip width apart, really underneath the knees here. Hands underneath onto the mat, palms facing up or down. Inhale, tilt the pelvis, the tailbone up to the sky. Squeeze the glutes a little bit and then lift the hips up to the sky. Take a breath here. And then exhale, lower down from the upper vertebrae all the way down to the tailbone. We'll do this again. Inhale. Exhale, press the lower back down into the mat. Lift tailbone up, lift hips. Come into a bridge. Really press the heels into the mat as you send your knees forward, sending the tailbone towards the heels, pressing the pubic bone to the sky. And then exhale slowly from the upper back, rounding down, lowering the hips. Inhale. Exhale, press the lower back down, lift into your bridge. Hold it here, maybe a little higher. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Draw the knees one at a time into the chest. Give yourself a little hug here. Maybe swaying gently side to side. Extending the legs out in front of you. We'll come into Bananasana. Take your arms overhead. Bring the legs to the right, and then the chest and the arms to the right. Opening the left side of the body. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, relax the left side down towards the mat. If you'd like to go deeper, you can bend the left knee slightly, hook the left ankle on top of the right, and then straighten that knee back. Allow the navel to sink down towards the spine as you exhale. Try and release any gripping of the hips, of the upper back, and of the face. And tap into that energy inside of you, that light that allows you to just be you, that allows you to familiarize yourself and become more intimate with yourself. On your next inhale, if you hooked the ankle, unhook it first, gently. Walk the legs slowly back to center, and then walk the torso and the arms back to center. Take a moment here. Fill all the way up and release. And then walk your legs to the left, as much as they'll go, and then the torso and the arms to the left. Notice here if this side is feeling different than the left side. Option to hook the right ankle on top of the left to go deeper. Deep breath, deep down into the right side. You might feel it all across the right side into the obliques, down into the outer right hip, lower back. Maybe now you'd like to close the eyes. Allow the entire body to just sink into the earth. On your next inhale, release the ankle. Walk the legs back to center, torso and the arms back to center. Give yourself a really big stretch here. Inhale, point the toes, reach the fingers, lengthen the spine. Lengthen to decompress the spine, even maybe allowing your bottom body to press into the mat as you lengthen. And then exhale, release here. Arms down by your sides, planting the soles of the feet on the mat, Find your blocks. Take 2 blocks, preferably foam blocks if you have them. And then arrange the blocks for supported fish. Okay, so there's a block that goes between the shoulder blades and a block that can capture the back of your head. Send your hips about a foot away from the bottom block. You can shift the height of the blocks if you need. So that's an experiment. If you have never done this before, bring your hands along your sides, lower down first on the forearms, find the block with your back. Okay? The block goes between the shoulder blades, not down on the lower back. And then slowly release the back down onto the block and the head down onto the other block. Keep the feet planted on the mat for support. And take a moment here to readjust where needed. Notice here, first the legs. You can keep the legs there. You also have the option to bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees into a butterfly. Or you can extend the legs straight out in front of you. For the arms, your arms can be along your sides, opened out into a T, cactus, or even grabbing the elbows overhead to really create a deeper length in the front body, in the front of the spine. If you open your arms out, it really allows the opening of the chest, the heart center, the inside of the shoulders. Find your center here and allow the weight to drop into the blocks. Allow the blocks to support you. Relax the throat. Stay with breath here as you inhale very deeply down into the body. As you exhale, relax the back of the head, the heart, and the chest. Soften your eyes, your ears, your fingers. Take one last deep breath here. And exhale out the nose or mouth. Bring your hands down along your sides. Draw the knees up if you were in butterfly. Bring the soles of the feet onto the mat. You have 2 ways of coming out of this pose. You can just turn yourself onto your side off of the blocks, or press yourself up onto the forearms and then onto the hands. Remove the blocks. And then here, slowly come back onto your back. Taking a moment here to draw the feet to the sky. Just allow your legs to dangle here. Maybe turning the ankles, maybe swaying your hips a little side to side. And then bring the hands overhead as well to the sky. And just do rotations of the ankles and the wrists. And maybe doing a little bit of some natural shaking here. Legs and the arms and the feet. Wiggling the torso. Dropping down into the natural movement of your body. And then here, reach the right arm higher up to the sky, lifting the shoulder off of the mat, and then lowering that shoulder back down. And then inhale, reach the left hand to the sky, peeling that left shoulder off of the mat. Exhaling it down. Inhale, reach the right leg up to the sky, lifting the right hip. Keeping the left hip down, exhale it down. Inhale, reach the left hip up. Reach the left leg up. Exhale it down. Drawing the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug here. Open the knees wide. Draw them towards the armpits. Pointing and flexing the toes. Feeling the shoulder blades. Relaxing down on the mat. Maybe swaying side to side with your hips here. Just intuitive movement here. You might even want to rock yourself forward and back on the pelvis. On the tailbone. Feel that opening all the way down into the spine, lower back. Circling onto the lower back. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, extend the legs out, reach the arms overhead. Give yourself a final big stretch here. Reach, reach, reach. Maybe squeezing the eyes, the fingers, making fists. Really drawing the navel in, feeling the spine lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And release into your final Shavasana here. Opening the legs as wide as you want them to, taking up space for yourself here. Maybe finding a star shape, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And maybe take a moment here in your Shavasana to just shake your pelvis side to side. Maybe shake the torso side to side, kind of like nestling into the ground. Finding a comfy place for yourself here. And then find stillness. Notice how you're feeling with your breath. Moving down into the line of energy in the center of the body. Visualize that bright starlight traveling up the spine all the way up into the crown chakra as you inhale. Exhale, send the starlight all the way down the spine, deep down into the root chakra as you exhale. Moving that light up and down. Slowly relaxing the breath, minimal effort. Thank you so much for joining me, allowing me to guide you in your practice. You can stay here as long as you need. Mahalo. Namaste.